this episode is not canon to my Adastra playthrough, so think of it as a multiverse thing.
Ruff, ruff, ruff.
Hey guys, it's your Bo the Doggo, and welcome to a special episode of Adastra. So, I uploaded the last episode yesterday, and when I did so, I was told that I got a different vision than Vitsi, in his case, did. And he set out to find why he did. And he also told me about what he experienced in the vision part instead of this vision. And I thought it sounded so interesting that I decided that I'm gonna make a bonus episode, this one here, where we just make another choice earlier in the game. So this decision that will change last episode is way back in, I think, episode 10. That was an episode where Neferu hit on Amicus in the bath, and Amicus was very uncomfortable about this, and he later also in that episode came out as gay to us. But to lighten the mood, they started talking about Neferu instead, and what their opinions on Neferu were. And yeah, we could choose to either continue talking to Neferu or say that we don't trust him. And I suppose most people say that they trust Neferu, and that makes the character more open to everything, more open to the chemias, more open to the parents. But if you instead choose that you don't trust Neferu, you will also be more doubtful about the parents, and that's what happened. So I'm gonna show you now when you do the choice that you don't trust Neferu. Maybe he was just feeling you out. Amicus smirks at that. You could say that. Anyway, I don't know how to feel about him. I'm thinking about telling him that I'm not interested in an alliance unless they send someone who's more tact. Amicus glances at me. What do you think? Honestly, if that was the Kimian who sent to foster an alliance, I have to wonder about them as a whole. They are an arrogant people, as I said. And maybe his intentions aren't that great if that's how he treats his prospective allies. Agreed. But I don't know, I'm not a politician. But you're smart. Thanks. Anyways, I'm off to my shower. And now that we have done that, we're gonna speed forward to the part where we were last episode. The part with the vision.
You are on the right path.
I grasp blindly at the sound of his voice. Help me. I don't know what to do. My feet slide quietly across the rug of the marble, leaving Amicus behind on the sofa.
Apologies for the extended silence.
But why? Who are you?
You know me.
I walk deliberately in the direction I know to go, my only distraction being the furious twitching in my left eyelid.
You needed time to learn about yourself, to learn about the Galaxias, to steel your resolve, and now you are ready to forge ahead.
No.
What? Would you like to glance through the eyes of the parents to see what lies ahead?
What? Something trembles under my feet. I sense someone else. And he does too. I move my mind towards the presence. Towards her.
This way.
No. He watches me, and for the first time, I sense something from the dragon that almost feels like worry.
Don't be distracted by rogue entities. This is dangerous.
What does that mean? But it doesn't matter, because I keep moving away. This presence, I know her. She tried to contact me in the amalgamation. She refused to mingle. She stayed separate. And now, I can see her. She appears before me. She bows to me.
Hello, my replacement. There is much to say.
I know her. Already, I know who this is. Mira.
Ah, so you do possess a notable level of intelligence.
I'm confused, unsure as to what's happening, why it's happening. I swallow, or at least I do it mentally. I still feel out of body, anchored to nothing. I'm just an observer from an indefinable point in space. You say I'm a replacement?
My replacement, yes. Though I suppose that label isn't entirely accurate. You're more of a successor.
Oh, I just noticed that she has the arrow on her face as well. Like the royal family do. My concentration to summoning myself a body begins to yield some results as I see the outlines of my torso and legs below me.
Though my inability to complete their requests has thrust some of those duties upon you. So yes, a successor, but also a replacement.
I finally materialize the majority of my body, solidifying its shape beneath my point of view. I lift my hands to my face, and though they look tangible, there's also a dreamlike quality to them, bending and moving in ways that don't seem real. Mira is quiet, and I realize that my focus isn't fully dedicated to her, though it should be. I look up. Sorry, what was your assignment? She stares back at me for a while, brow furrowed, and I wonder if she's upset with me.
Shall we adopt Chemian etiquette and get to the point quickly? I have a feeling that my time with you will not be long.
Sure.
Splendid. So, Bo, do you trust the parents?
Huh? I heard her well enough. I just don't know how I should answer the question.
I said, do you trust the parents?
Yeah, mostly. I say that because I'm pretty sure that the parents are listening right now. For the past several months, I've been trying to smothering the questioning thoughts that I had, the worry that I might be kept from the full truth. And that's mainly because I don't want to jeopardize Amicus' plans, his future goals. He knows much more about the parents than I do, and though he has his reservations after what happened to me, and because I trust Amicus, I guess I trust the parents as well. Sort of.
You're not a very good liar, are you, Bo?
I'm not lying.
Do you know what my fate was, Bo?
I think back, trying to remember the full story. You committed suicide to force Drusus into a choice, right? The tigress continues to look at me with that piercing gaze. I start to become more uncomfortable. Listen, you had a lot to say, right? So what is it?
Bo, what does it mean to be a sapient?
I sigh, starting to get annoyed with how little explanation I'm getting. I shouldn't be the one answering questions. I don't know, to be self-aware? Mira laughs, and there's an odd growling quality to it.
If that was true, then my lover would not have been considered a sapient.
Lover? I wonder if Drusus is here with her. I hope so, because if I end up like her, I'd still want to be with Amicus. The tigress adjusts a sorry, pushing it back slightly to reveal more of a stripped face.
But that is certainly part of being sapient, though I suppose my question should be more broad. What does it mean to be alive?
I sigh, opening my mouth to tell her that I don't know before Mira answers anyway.
Agency, the ability to make your own decisions.
The tigress becomes serious once again.
Consider that the parents claim to hold life above all else in the universe. With that in mind, does the concept of what it means to be alive merge with the goals of the parents? Does it merge with what they're doing to you?
Now I see where she's going with this. I don't have a choice. The tigress pauses, and I think I see her smirk a little.
No, you do not. And now they attempt to right this fallacy by re-establishing choice, by telling you that you don't have to follow their guidance. But in my experience, the alternative was a scenario which threatened my very life. A sapient life which I claim to hold dear.
I think of Amicus' choice. A choice which wasn't really a choice at all for the wolf.
How can they proclaim themselves benevolent if they threaten the life of the individuals they manipulate? How is that even possible when they use our very lives to manipulate the ones we love?
I grimace. It's almost like the tiger is reading my mind.
I cannot stand for it. Thus, here I am.
They try not to interfere.
They say they don't want to interfere, yet they set plans into motions to take power from the Empire and govern the siblings directly.
I stare. How do you know this? The tiger glares.
I was private to every one of their plans, even those 10,000 years in the future.
I try to comprehend that, but then shake my head. But isn't their goal not to interfere at all? They're just trying to set us on the right path. Taking full control will go against everything they say.
So they say, yet they are stepping in to directly control your every move. Soon it will be the entire Galaxias.
I shake my head again, but Mira goes on.
Did you ever wonder why the intel you gathered on Kato's sabotage of the Emperor's ship was never utilized, seemingly pressed to the back of the minds of all who knew of it? Information that could have brought an end to the struggle in a much more peaceful process.
I narrow my gaze on the tiger, starting to feel uncomfortable.
Why did you hand the goblet to Cassius, despite knowing what would follow?
Now I start to really feel uneasy, looking carefully at the tigress. How do you know this? Are you watching me? Mira's image seems to quiver.
I'm always watching. I lurk outside of your windows as you work. I sit in your closet, listening to you breathe as you sleep. I creep up on your bed, willing you to die.
Her voice takes on an odd tone, becoming muffled, statically, like it's coming through a phone speaker. Yet it grows louder. What? The back of my neck prickles, the hair rising as Mira begins to disappear. The space around me pulses, then fades out slowly as well.
Do you want to know what death is like?
Mira's voice isn't her voice anymore. It's a cacophony of whispers and rustling, like a writhing pile of dead leaves.
I still taste that poison in my mouth, the agony in my body, the terror of dissolving into nothing.
The whisper moves behind me, up my neck.
A nothingness that would simultaneously something, forced to be tormented in the hell of non-existence, of never-ending black.
Is he still talking about the amalgamation? The voice chuckles, whipping off a vortex of dried leaves.
The amalgamation. Even you know how unnatural its existence is. A swirl of countless souls being harvested by their parents to be used.
I start to try to pull away from this thing, this creature that is no longer Mira.
You will experience it soon enough. The horror of it all.
Something begins to wrap around my neck, the pressure growing.
But don't worry, you won't be alone. You will suffer together with your wolf. Forever.
Enough!
A strong, solid voice breaks through the smothering terror and I cling to it immediately. As if being pulled from a deep pool of water, I emerge from the black, back into the dazzling glimmers of space. I gasp for breath, even though I have no lungs to gasp into. The monitor looms before me, exuding a stifled combination of frustration and concern.
Are you alright, Bo?
The fear I've had lingers, but I'm able to steady my nerves enough to talk. What the hell was that? The monitor stares at me for a while, thinking, contemplating something.
The other.
I had already suspected that, but to have it confirmed makes my heart sink. I was told it wasn't here yet.
Where you are now is not where you used to be.
But why was it Mira?
It can take any form its host can imagine. Speak any words its host might imagine.
The dragon looks pointedly at me. Host? I sense something like a sigh from the reptile.
You were the host, and it was simply using your doubts against you.
I think, trying to remember everything Mira, the other, had said. Something still doesn't feel right. She definitely didn't feel like something I could think up, and the things she was saying, like about the amalgamation, I'd never thought those things before.
Many thoughts are subconscious.
I wonder if Mira is still out there with the other.
The true Mira is in the amalgamation, and though she may have come up short in her duties, she still rests happily with Drusus.
Yet I can't help but feel that must have been a part of Mira, a mixture of doubts between me and her. Can the other store bits of memories of people that he come in contact with?
Do not worry yourself over things that do not currently matter. What matters now is your doubts.
Despite what I just been through, I feel a flare of irritation at the dragon's nonchalant attitude. Even if it was the other that brought it out of me, at least now my worries are out in the open. Well, you heard my doubts. What do you have to say about them? The monitor bows his head slowly, closing his eyes.
It is worrying.
Is it? Well, now you know how I've felt the past year. I'm defiant, even though I'm scared. I might just have screwed up Amicus' destiny if they know what I think now.
We've always known. We had simply hoped that those feelings would fade with time.
By just not saying anything on your end, I have no idea what's going on.
We mustn't interfere.
I don't care! If you don't start telling me what I'm doing and why, then I'm gonna follow Mira. You care about choice? I'm making my choice now. Either you tell me or I walk out. I'm bluffing, but only partly. There's a small bit of me that is determined to follow through on that, and I think the monitor senses it too. I'm just done. Again, that big, heavy sigh.
Providing you with knowledge ahead of schedule makes our ability to see blurry.
I shrug. Better than me just leaving, right? Now tell me about your future plans, the amalgamation, why your moral compass is so fucked up. A typical pause.
I'm sorry, but we can't reveal everything to you. At least not yet. But we can at least tell you of the plan that we have set forth for you.
I'm relieved and a little surprised that I got the parents to do something that I want for a change.
Do not get used to it. Trust me, they do not do this often.
I shrug, trying to not feel too smug that I just figured out that I hold a good deal of power myself. The parents struggle between wanting to appear benevolent, while also wanting to force a subject into a specific role leaves them with a bit of a disadvantage with me. The monitor seems to choose to not comment on that thought process. I focus back on him. So what is it that I'm doing and why? I come to slowly on the floor, under archives. My vision is blurry, and for the first time, I feel somewhat confident. Having the entire Earth plan laid out before me has made everything make so much more sense. Still, the experience I had with the other, it still left me paranoid and worried. I refused to believe that everything that came out of his mouth was all from my mind. There was something more, things I can only imagine Mira had said herself. Maybe it wasn't to me at that moment. Maybe it was simply words she had said in the past, brought to the present by the other. Either way, I'm going along with the plan, but knowing what I'm doing and why has made me feel much more in control. I can even reject certain tasks that they might give me in advance, force them to come up with another way. This new dynamic feels closer to true agency. I was able to tell that to the monitor, and thus the parents were unhappy about it. Still, I can't help but feel that this newfound sense of power on my end is going to make my life a lot easier, even if it makes theirs harder. I get up slowly, a smile on my face, feeling good for once. I make my way to the door, pressing the panel. I take a deep breath, feeling the cool, fragrant night air against my face. I stand there a moment, enjoying the feeling on level ground with the Galaxias. I'm so lost in this feeling of relief that I barely notice the footsteps up the hall. Whew, very scary. Ooh, I'm actually happy that wasn't my canon. So as I said when I started the video, this is not canon for my playthrough, but I thought it sounded cool enough that I wanted to make an episode just for that. That was all I wanted with this video. Next episode will be the last of Adastra. We are finishing Adastra in the next episode. So yeah, stay tuned for that, guys. I love you guys, so take care and remember that you are loved and appreciated, and that you should be proud of who you are, because I want to see you in the last episode of Adastra. Bye! This makes me wonder what impact the other choices have in this game.